Oh, Richie, can I just talk? It's so special to get nominated for K-pop on API Heritage Month. It means that all of these things collided, and it really means, for one of the earlier shows that opened this season, it means that we made a dent in the zeitgeist. Yeah.
The clothes were stunning in that show.
Thank you.
Absolutely
Thank
stunning.
you. Sophia Choi and I, my co-designer, really worked very hard, to capture so many cultures, K-pop, Korean, Broadway, all of it. Yeah.
What made it so special for you with working on K-pop?
I think for me, it was the sense of community, and that we were doing something that was an original story, and that was something that had never been seen on Broadway. I think for me, it was really the possibilities of what that could open up.
And it's cool to be here today, is it, with all your peers? And
It's amazing to be here. It's really amazing to be here. It is a blessing. Yeah.
For me, it's so special because I feel our community has worked so hard over these last 3 years just to survive and to move forward. So for me, to watch the artisans who make all of the costumes and the scenery and work together, the company of actors that I'm working with right now on Parade, an unbelievably gorgeous group of actors. Many of them made their Broadway debut on this show. So I feel like what's so special for me is that we feel this new life coming forward, lifting up and taking us forward.
yeah, and just being here with a lot of your, peers and everything else today, what it means to you.
Oh, well, to be here, it's always so funny because I keep running into people. Kevin Cahoon, I worked with in 1996 with Kristen Chenoweth before Wicked. I mean, it's wild. But to go, Jessica Chastain, we did a show together with Richard Nelson many years ago. So I actually see in many ways my life coming forward. Sarah Krulwich of the New York Times, I can't believe how many shows I've done with her. So it's been such a joy today to celebrate with the community.
I mean, it's super, super special. But I had one of the most amazing seasons to date. I was able to do 5 shows this season. And to be recognized for 2 out of the 5, it's not bad.
Talk about the 2 you're nominated for.
The first one is Goodnight Oscar with Sean Hayes, which is like a project that we did at the Goodman a year ago and we brought in this year. And it's one of those things. It's a beautiful period piece, 1958, Hollywood, the golden age of TV. So it's very specific, but there's some beautiful things in it. And then my heart goes out to Ain't No Mo, and I think that show did so many different things without it knowing what it was doing, in a sense. Because it opened, I think the trajectory of what happened, it opened the eyes to many of the inequities of the industry and how we support different voices in different audiences. And I think that show was one of the catalysts and the mirror to that we need to do something that really to make it more inclusive for everyone to come and enjoy this process.
What's made And Juliet so special for you?
And Juliet is, I've been with it for many years and it has grown and evolved until here it is landed on Broadway. And I think it will continue to evolve. And that is one way that it is actually special, is that the show is about individuals rewriting a story so it suits their own personality and life, and then coming together and collaborating with other individuals and that strife of that. And so as costumes, we try and adapt the costumes, especially for the players, the ensemble, to fit the personalities and the body shapes and the way that they move. As each new cast member comes in. So I think that this nomination is a celebration of my work and my team's work, but it is also a celebration of the entire cast who very much inspire what has ended up on their bodies.
It's a Camelot like you haven't seen before, right? I don't think there's been one where Guinevere comes running in leather pants and so it was great to take a fresh look at it.
It's just unbelievable, to be honest. I mean, I work in puppetry, so that's a really an outsider industry. And so when we were nominated for the Olivier's, I was blown away. But to come here and be at the Tony Awards, it's just like a dream for me. It's extraordinary. It's something I've thought about and dreamt of since I was making theatre in my early 20s. And now to be here with a big puppetry show, with a show like Life of Pi, is just extraordinary, mind-blowing.
So I was saying, take me back to your younger self. Like, what was the first puppet you designed when you were really, really young? And what would your older self tell your younger self?
Wow, that's a great question. One of the first puppets I designed was a life-size model of the Elephant Man, John Merrick, that really deformed body. It was a really interesting and strange thing to take on. I think the advice I give to my younger self was less complicated. I had like 4 joints in the elbow, and I could have just had a strap of fabric.
What's made this show so special for you to work on?
It's just bringing the puppetry to people around the world that we've been working on so hard in our small little rooms in England, and being able to share that with people and seeing their responses to it and seeing it change people's lives. That for me is extraordinary.